Station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
This is about politics. This is about 2024. Period. The end.
We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone.
Now at 10 on DC News Now, former President Donald Trump pleads not guilty in a DC courthouse.
And a historic day in the United States tonight. Hear from people who traveled near and far to be a part of it.
Evening, my friends. Yeah, we have tracked in some rain across the DMV, and that will continue as we go into your Friday. But what does that weekend forecast look like? I have all the details coming up.
And opening up new opportunities in Maryland schools.
These are the types of programs that can help them do that.
The multi-million-dollar investment to help students achieve outside of the classroom.
And a new take on the Statue of Liberty, the new installation in Arlington, and the conversations it's prompting tonight. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us for DC News Now at 10 on DCW 50. I'm Tasmin Mahfouz.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Flanagan, and developing tonight at 10, former President Donald Trump expected to return to the district later this month. Today, he pleaded not guilty for the third time this year.
This is a very sad day for America. This is a persecution of a political opponent. This was never supposed to happen in America.
A federal grand jury has indicted Trump on 4 felony counts of conspiring to overturn the 2020 election. His legal team says he was only following the advice of legal advisors, and his election claims are protected by his right to free speech. Some Republicans say the Department of Justice is unfairly targeting the former president, and the third indictment only makes him a stronger political candidate.
I think it pushes people to support President Trump because they know if they can do this to Donald J. Trump, they can do it to them.
It is focused, framed on the crimes, 45 pages of powerful facts. There needs to be accountability here.
Well, Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut says the case is not about politics. The next hearing date in the case will be August 28th, and the judge is expected to set a trial date.
Meanwhile, it was a lively day outside the federal courthouse in the district today. Our DC News Now's reporter Mariel Carbone joins us live outside the E. Barrett Prettyman Courthouse.
And Mariel, you've been there all day long, but right now a bit more subdued than it was hours ago.
Yeah, it was, but even earlier today, I think it was a lot tamer than some people expected, with more media and cameras than protesters and supporters. In fact, one local DC woman I spoke to tells me she's never seen as many cameras as she saw out here today. That was part of the draw for her to come down here, that plus being part of what she called a monumental day in the United States. Behind the noise, left or right, there's at least one uniting factor drawing people to the former president's first appearance at this D.C. federal courthouse.
I guess witness a little bit of history.
Show support. It's history, too.
It is also very historic.
Joy Shabbat is from D.C. She remembers January 6th clearly, the catalyst for Trump's latest indictment.
People died. People didn't respect our government and our institutions.
It's why she says she wants accountability, which she believes starts here inside a courtroom today.
This is our process, and it shouldn't be any different for this person than for any other person.
Not only has a former president been indicted once, but 3 times.
James Roberts traveled down from New York supporting the former president. He attended Trump's Manhattan arraignment too. Today's hearing, another chapter in a narrative he calls a sham.
Today is just a formal hearing of the charges, but you know, it's going to be a while before the trial, if it even goes to trial. But you know, everyone's innocent until proven guilty, of course.
If there isn't consequences for what happened, then it'll happen again.
Tanya Layden says today is significant for the future of the country.
We don't think that we're going to have a republic if we don't have consequences.
And again, a lot quieter out here than it was earlier this afternoon. Most of the crowds leaving at around 5 after the former president left the area. Right now, we do still have some of the security in place. There's still fencing and tape up around the outside of the courthouse. It's unclear how much longer that will be in place down here. Reporting live from outside the courthouse, I'm Mariel Carbone, DC News Now.
Mariel, thank you. So people who lived in D.C. during the January 6th attack on the Capitol They remember that day so well. DC News Now spoke with several who were just blocks away from the chaos. Take a listen.
I was pretty shocked. The violence shocked me. The Capitol Police, they were trying to keep order, and people just seemed to be wanting to be violent.
So Wayne Griffith is a D.C. tour guide and lives near the Capitol. He tells us he was home that day.
And according to the Department of Justice, in the 30 months since the January 6th attack, more than 1,000 people have been arrested. Many have been tried and convicted in the very same federal courthouse where former president appeared today. Now, this is across 50 states for crimes related to the breach of the U.S. Capitol. More than 350 individuals have been charged with assaulting or impeding law enforcement. That investigation remains ongoing.
All right, we're closer to the weekend. Let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Janessa Webb.
Yeah, and Janessa, it's getting a little foggy out there for some of our friends.
Yeah, early morning commute tomorrow, just because we have dew points that are super high right now. Yeah, the mugginess.
Right,
no more open up the window. It's AC time. So
we don't like that bill.
Yeah, the bill's going to be cranking this month. Okay, let's take a live look at what's happening right now. The haze is kind of in the sky. Really, that's condensation. That's moisture that continues to kind of build up. We haven't seen a good clip of rain here in the metro area. It's kind of been confined to northern Virginia, southern Maryland, western Maryland, not in the mix this afternoon, so you're happy about that. Really, we're going to watch these low-lying clouds, and also there's a breeze that's picking up 10 to about 15 miles per hour for most locations, but here's where the rain is currently falling. Does look like they just issued a coastal flood watch or advisory across the area for the metro area. So that's that darker green that is just coming in here for the Tidal Basin area and the district. That is really not due to moisture coming from the upper atmosphere. That's high tide cycle. So you're going to have a high tide cycle come in early tomorrow morning on top of this rain, and so some minor flooding is definitely possible. Similar situation going to unfold for your Friday as well. We'll look at a few storms going to pop up in my extended forecast.
All right, Janessa, we'll see you then. Thanks. Meanwhile, all new tonight, the U.S. Secretary of Education traveled to Prince George's County this week to discuss the need for more tech education all across the country. Now, this comes as several students went through a program they say was life-changing. During a time where youth crime is on the rise, leaders say this is really an opportunity to push them in a better direction. Our reporter, Yamari Sase, spoke to government leaders and students about what more can be done.
For some students that had no idea what they wanted to do after high school, Prince George's County Career and Technical Education opened up opportunities.
I started out actually as a brick mason. Since then, I learned how to do tile, ceramic tile. I learned how to do concrete work. Got very good at it, to be honest, so I definitely think it's life-changing.
This week's visit at Crossland High School from the U.S. Secretary of Education confirmed the benefits of apprenticeships and the need for them across the country.
What I saw here that I really like is that students have apprenticeships following their passion, that the Department of Labor is connected to this, and that they have a school and district infrastructure that supports the continued growth of it, which lead to mentoring and good relationships that lead to careers for the students.
This comes after a $6 million investment for more apprenticeships in Maryland. Congressman Glenn Ivey says these programs help push teens in a more positive direction.
There are a lot of young people out there who haven't figured out the right track. They haven't figured out how to go forward. They don't see the path that would take them in the right direction. These are the types of programs that can help them do that.
Many of the former students say early exposure to programs like this is needed.
If you want to be a high earner at a young age, then it would definitely benefit you in every way possible.
And the more employers participate, the more doors will open for our youth.
I think that's a must. If there are more employers, there are more opportunities for everybody else.
Reporting in Prince George's County, I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.
All right, so a piece of art that may look at least somewhat familiar to you is calling a neighborhood in our region home for the next year.
Yeah, sure to be a talker, and the artist hopes really a powerful symbol. Our Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Max Marcilla joining us live tonight from the Museum of Contemporary Art, Arlington.
Yeah, and Max, people all across the DMV are getting a chance to check out Reclining Liberty.
Yeah, that's right. It's definitely become the talk of, at least for now, the block, as it is just day one that Reclining Liberty is calling Arlington home. But even in just the time we've been out here, we've seen people in cars roll down their windows to take a picture at a red light. We've seen them go over toward the statue and take a selfie with it. This is becoming a really interesting attraction. A lot of people are wondering, why is it here and how long is it here to stay? It's not New York or even Vegas, it's Arlington, and yes, this is a Statue of Liberty, sort of. This is Reclining Liberty, and overnight it took the drive down from its previous home in New York, past its monument contemporaries, and to its new temporary home in Northern Virginia. But why is it here?
You can have these conversations about it, about, what is the symbolism of the statue.
To bring Zach Landsberg's work to new parts of the country and...
what is the symbolism of the statue?
Yes, to answer that question. Some came up with their own thoughtful interpretations.
I think she's tired. Just like women in our society, we're tired.
Others picked up Landsberg's vision of his work, a combination of what Lady Liberty herself represents with the ideals of reclining Buddha.
It's a symbol of peace, harmony, meditation, welcoming immigrants for harmony, diversity, inclusion.
Patriotic symbols. Landsberg shared his vision with passersby. That's part of the goal, placing this sculpture near a neighborhood and a bus stop, meaning more conversations can be had about the ideals this community hopes will define it.
There's no place for hatred and discrimination, so I think this symbol fits right in.
All right, so a couple of things that Landsberg pointed out in our conversation. This statue, as far as how high it gets, like up and down, only 5 feet to get to eye level. He said that's intentional. The other thing that he wanted to do is make sure this statue was accessible so people can walk right up to it and touch it and kind of really get up close and personal with Reclining Liberty. He says both the ideals and physically the sculpture should be attainable and reachable for the people here in this area and anyone who comes across it.
Hey, Max, before you go, we got to ask, what are your interpretations of the statue?
That was a fun question to ask people. Everyone had a different opinion. Look, I am no art connoisseur, but that's the beauty of art, right? What it brought me back to was some reporting I did down in Charlottesville, some of the controversies over Confederate statues, and I brought that up with Zach Landsberg when we were talking about just statues, and he said this is the interesting thing and why he appreciates this piece is it can be taken down, brought back, taken to a different location. It was in Brooklyn, New York. Now it's down here in Virginia. Who knows where it'll go next? But he says that ability to have a statue that can go to any neighborhood and really impact as many people as he hopes it can, he says really makes this unique. And I guess to answer your question, the movability of it and how many people it can impact in person right in front of them, I guess that's what I thought of.